Hey guys, Mark here. Been a while since I put a video up on YouTube. Reason being is we've just gone through a really long, hard winter here in the UK. We're now end of February 2015, and this is like the first day of just coming out of winter time. So yay! I've just been out on this beautiful bike that I've owned for a few months, my Ducati Multistrada 1200 S Touring, and I've had this for a few months now, and it is absolutely fabulous. You know, it is. Words just can't describe how good this bike is. I've been looking to get a bigger adventure bike, if you will, for quite a few months. I had the V-Strom for a while. That was a cracking little bike, but I just wanted something a bit more powerful. Lots of contenders: Ducati Multistrada, BMW GS, KTM, Kawasaki Versys, but I just love the look of the Ducati Multistrada. As you probably agree, it looks so edgy. You know, it looks really aggressive. You know, it's got that lovely sort of snout beak, if you want to call it there. I love the looks of this bike. I paid £8,900 for this bike 3 months ago, and bear in mind these new now are around about £16,000, and it would have been about 15,000 when it was new. This is a 2010 model, so this is the electronic suspension Öhlins, but it's not the semi-auto suspension Skyhook, which is the 2013 onwards, if you get all that. But anyway, I'm just going to walk around the bike and tell you what I think about all the various parts of it. So screen is very good. I think the guy before me has put a slightly higher one on there. I'm 5'8" tall, and it provides loads of wind protection. You can adjust it up and down by turning these screws there. The newer 2013 model, you actually just push here and it goes up and down. Lights are really good on it. So both lights are on during the day, so it looks really mean. The suspension is incredible. It's electronic Öhlins suspension, which you can adjust via the mode switch on the handlebar. Really impressive suspension. I'll talk about that more in a minute. Brakes are super powerful Brembos. You know, radial mounted. Can't complain about those. Absolutely awesome brakes. The seat is very comfortable. It's very big. It's very wide. Now, being only 5'8", I'm tiptoes on this bike, but I can still, you know, control it pretty well. It's not a heavy bike by any means, but if you're below 5'8", you may struggle with this bike, purely because you can't lower these bikes because the rear shock is mounted directly to the rear swing arm, so you can't really fit lowering links, dog bones if you like, and it's electronic suspension, so this isn't really a bike that you can lower. There is a lower seat, but I actually bought one of those, didn't find it made much difference at all. So really 5'8" and above is kind of your limit on this bike, I'm afraid. Nice big passenger seat there, if your passenger is able to climb up there, that is. It's very high. Nice tucked away exhaust that sounds incredibly loud. A lot of people fit the Termignoni exhaust on these, but this is a really loud standard, so I'm keeping it that way. Now, I bought this as an extra to fit the top box, which I've got over here, which is that one there. It's a really big two full face helmet top box, and this particular model, the S Touring, comes with the side panniers as well. So if you can imagine those three bits there bolted on the back of that, you know, they very ingeniously just hook into here. You know, you've got yourself a really good touring bike. And as I say, the great thing with these adventure bikes is that, you know, you've got your power, you've got handling, brakes, you've got the lot. You know, you've got, you know, phenomenal, brutal acceleration from this 1198 superbike engine, which is slightly down-tuned for more torque. You know, you've got everything. So I'm just totally sold on these type of bikes at the moment. So just walking around it. So there's your electronic suspension. It's all up in there. Centre stand, hydraulic clutch. I say it's a really nice piece of kit. I was always a bit worried about Ducatis. I had a 996 years ago with their reliability, but now from sort of 08 onwards they're very reliable. This hasn't missed a beat. I've done 2,000 miles on it. It's up to 7,500 now, so no issues there. So it's keyless ignition, so you just keep the key in your pocket. Just push down here. That fires up the dash. And the dash is very comprehensive. It's got everything you need to know. So just look at that, and then we'll start her up. set makes an absolutely cracking noise. It sounds awesome when you're riding it. So basically you've got 4 modes on this bike. Sport is the 150 horsepower, very, very instantaneous throttle response. That's what I ride in most of the time. If you go over here, this is your mode button, you push that and it goes to, you can have it on touring, which is still 150 full power, but it's a much softer, more mellow throttle response, and the suspension also softens electronically instantaneously while you're riding. Urban goes down to 100 horsepower with a very soft throttle response, and the suspension gets even softer still. Enduro, I haven't really used that yet, that's more for off-road, that's 100 horsepower, but I tend to keep it in sport for most of the time. So you can also adjust the suspension for, in a minute that should go back to showing, there we go. That means it's currently set for 1 person. You could hold it down and it goes to 2 people or 2 people luggage, that sort of thing. So it will stiffen the suspension up. You know, you can do that while you're riding, and also you can go into it even more and fine-tune exactly how you want it. So if you wanted sport single rider to be say more compression or less rebound, you can do that as well, but I've basically just left it all as default factory settings at the moment. So we can turn it off like that, that all goes off. So just talking about the main event then, this engine, my god, 150 horsepower engine horsepower, about 135 at the rear tyre. This thing is absolutely brutal, the acceleration. You know, it is such a giggle-inducing bike. You know, you laugh out like a maniac when you accelerate hard on this thing. I will do an on-board review in a few months' time when it's even warmer, but you know, the acceleration is enough to lift the front wheel up in first and second without any problem at all. It's brutally powerful. It really is impressive. I say they took the 1198 Superbike engine and detuned it a bit, which knocks the power off the top, gives it more at the low end, and literally from 3,000 upwards this thing absolutely flies, and the noise it makes is just, you just have to test ride one yourself. It's an awesomely exciting bike to ride. Being a V-twin, well, it's actually an L-twin, so the cylinders are in the shape of an L. You know, they do like revs. They're very fast engines, so below 3,000 they are a bit lumpy, so it's not a bike to buy if you're doing loads and loads of slow work. You know, it likes to be ridden hard. You know, it will poodle along happily at 60, but 30 in towns it's a bit sort of lumpy. It's much happier when it gets out onto the open road. Let's say I've got some good trips planned on this, going to France and Germany in a couple of months, so I should look forward to loading it up and having some good times on it. So yeah, just talking about the suspension. So this is the electronic Öhlins from 2013. I think it went to Sachs, which is the Skyhook suspension, which is semi-active suspension, which basically what that means is on the 2013 model it automatically adapts to sort of like, if you're braking it will make the suspension stiffer, if you're accelerating it will make the rear shock stiffer. It kind of adjusts automatically and keeps the bike in like a level plane, if you will. So that's 2013 model onwards. I did take one of those out and I was very impressed with it, but you know, I couldn't really justify £14,000 when I paid £8,900 for this, and it's 95% as good. I'm looking forward to the new Multistrada coming out, which is the variable valve timing one, which has got even more power, more torque and more smoothness at low revs as well, which I'd be interested to see what that's like. But as I say, it would need to be serious, a lot better than this for me to consider getting one of those new models in a couple of years' time. But as for now, this is the new bike for me. This is definitely staying. So I'm very pleased with it. As I say, it's just a really amazing bike to ride. That Italian VL twin engine just absolutely blows your mind, and being so upright and comfortable, you know, you've got everything. You've got handling, performance, brakes, comfort, touring ability. It's just brilliant. And as I say, I've seen these now for about 7,000 for one with quite high miles. This has only got 5,000 miles on it when I bought it, so you know, they're an excellent bike at quite a good sort of price. I mean, yeah, it's top end money, it's quite a lot of money, but then you're getting a hell of a lot of bike. It's an incredible riding experience. So so there we go, guys. If you've got any questions, as always, please post them on the YouTube. I enjoy seeing all your feedback. If you like this bike, please hit the thumbs up button on the YouTube, and give me a month or two and I'll do an on-board review of this bike. But anyway, it's been good seeing you all, talking to you all, and I'll catch you shortly. Cheers, bye.